I want to welcome you. This is our first supervision meeting of this half, so I'm really looking forward to our work together and just sort of setting up with you how we're going to do this. And so usually in these first meetings, I might be talking a lot more than I might normally would in a typical supervision meeting, but I think it's just for me to help kind of guide our plan for each other, and maybe have you get to know me a little bit more, maybe I can get to know you a little bit more, and talk about goals and sort of setting up how we really want to run our supervision in the way that meets your training goals the best. So, so how does it feel to be here today?
Well, different. I mean, you know, this is the first time I've come over here. I'm excited to see how supervision is going to be, and I'm excited to work with you in the second half.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to working with you as well. I've heard some really good things this far, and I've gotten your evaluation from your former supervisor, so I got a general sense of what you're bringing in and what you've been able to gain so far, and maybe what we can do is sort of share a little bit about each other, and for me to get to know you a little bit better. You know, what are some of our clinical experiences and areas of growth and expertise, and really maybe from there starting out, after knowing each other, what kind of goals we want to set up for each other.
Sounds good.
So maybe I'll start, I'll model, so I'll start. So you've gotten to know me already in some way from the group training, but in terms of my background, you know, I'm a California guy, so I was born and raised pretty much in Southern California, and went to college in Southern California, went to grad school in Santa Barbara, and ended up leaving California for a while. My first job out of grad school, and then eventually came back. But in all my training, probably the biggest piece for me was theory and research, and then application, doing multiculturally competent therapy with different populations, in particular Asian Americans, and I just have a strong interest with that population, being Asian myself. But that's probably been one of my biggest things that I try and continue to contribute to the field, is sort of the knowledge of multicultural issues. How do we apply multicultural things in therapy, and how do we apply multiculturalism, I think, in a bigger picture, which is on a systems level, on a community level, on a societal level. And I've always felt that the supervision part has been one of the ways that I can offer whatever it is that I know about multiculturalism and competence in my work with supervisors, because I know if they take some of that on and gain awareness themselves, then hopefully they can apply that in their own work, so they're making a contribution too.
I feel good in that, you know, I have the developmental piece is very important to me and my work with my clients, especially having the experience with other counseling centers, and I feel that the population here, that's a big piece. I think what I'm looking forward to, though, is that, you know, multiculturalism, cross-cultural issues in psychology have been really important to me, but a lot of it's kind of been in theory, just by virtue of where I was in the Midwest.
Out in the Midwest there.
There wasn't a lot of diversity, and so I saw, you know, a few African American clients, but most of my client base was European American, and so I'm looking forward to working with different people. And this, you know, the first half I was really able to do that, and so I think I'm trying to apply what I know or what I feel and think to working with this population, but at the same time, part of what I want to do now is really think about myself as an Indian woman therapist, Indian therapist, and how that fits, and how I see myself in working with a more diverse clientele.
What I was curious about, given what you just shared, and especially since you have one half already under your belt in terms of experiences, for this second half, what do you want to work on? What are the things that you want to grow in? What are your training goals? And then maybe we'll talk a little bit about how we can make that happen. And I'm going to write down these things too so I can forget them.
Okay. I think first, I started working on this last half, but I'm just beginning to feel like it's more and more important. And that's really developing a professional identity. Who I am, what do I stand for, those types of things. And I think kind of like a sub-goal or kind of along with that is also trying to become more assertive about who I am and, being able to ask for things or share my opinion with others.
Sure. How about clinically? Like, how are there things that you want to continue to enhance or learn more or learn new things? Anything in that area?
Yeah, I think the first half was really exciting because I was able to work with all these different clients, and I think when trying to figure out my schedule and how things work, I think it's different now that I'm more comfortable with the schedule and the demands. I want to really work more on like conceptualizing clients from different backgrounds and talking about this cross-cultural experience, talking about myself as a multicultural being, and really working on a lot of building of that perspective, as well as trying to figure out, okay, how will I do this in a short period of time?
Yeah, a short-term model kind of makes that a challenge sometimes.
So I think really just talking about those types of things will really be helpful for me.
Okay. Are there any types of like issues or diagnoses that you want to gain more experience in, or make sure that we, when a client does come up, that someone can perhaps refer that client to you because it's something that you want to work on or enhance? Anything like that, or?
Well, I'd like to work with more Indian clients. Although I feel like the clients I've been working with are very diverse. I only have one Indian American in my caseload, and so I'd like to work with more Indian clients.
Okay. Great. So, so I think that's a nice list that we can start working off of as well. And what I also wanted to ask you was, what are your goals for me then, as your supervisor? What are you hoping for out of me?
Well, I think one of the main reasons I picked you was through Group on Group. I really felt like we had a good connection and I could really trust you, and so I think the most important thing for me is that we can, that I can trust you and that you too can trust me, and being okay and doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I think that is going to be key for what I want. I also think I want to learn from you a little bit more about balance. I've been feeling like kind of just working, and I see that you're a bit more balanced, and I want to be able to learn that from you. And so I think trust, a safe environment, balance, and just for you to just be honest with me.
Sure. And the things, and I'm going to work on these, and hopefully we can be on the same page with all these things. And when we're talking about goals and asking me to do the things that make this place safe for you to be able to grow, I'll encourage you as well, even if it's hard at times, to be able to offer me input or